Recently, I came up with a new type of Pokemon Nuzlocke challenge that the community and I have called a Gen Lock. In this Nuzlocke variant, you are locked out of anything that wasn't introduced in the current generation that you're playing. So for instance, in Ruby and Sapphire, you can only use Hoenn Pokemon, as well as moves and items that debuted in Generation 3. Yes, that even means no potions. Other than that, it's the normal rule set, and obviously I'm still allowing myself to use Pokemon Centers and Pokemarts. Would something like this be easy, difficult, impossible? Well, we're gonna find out today, so let's get straight into it. Now, just like the Gold and Silver video, finding a viable starter was kind of hard. Most mons begin with moves like Tackle or Scratch, which I can't use in this run. Therefore, aside from something like a Lotad with Astonish, which doesn't help thanks to all the normal types early on, one of my only other options was...
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck?
Yeah, the Ghost Doll thing. You see, Bennett already knows the move Knockoff, and while it is a move introduced in Gen 3, it only had 20 base power at the time. Oh well, at least we can hit everything. By the way, in videos like this, I'm gonna start naming team members after people who leave super chats or super thanks in the comments, or who become a YouTube member or subscriber on Twitch, because y'all deserve the recognition. For real, thank you guys. Anyways, Maze Trico couldn't touch us, but then we ran into our first dilemma. Remember, no items from Generations 1 or 2, so I can't use regular Pokeballs. Fortunately, unlike the Johto games, we don't have to wait until the 4th town to have access to new Pokeballs, thanks to the concept of Premier Balls. Every time you buy 10 Pokeballs, the cashier will give you a complimentary Premier Ball. Sure, it sucks that I have to sell the Pokeballs I buy and can't make all that money back, but we gotta do this for now. The next step involved catching a Lotad on Route 102. As previously mentioned, it has Astonish right off the bat, but we'll get a much better move very soon. Also, this is a good time to say that the first usable wild Pokemon I see on a route counts as the first encounter. In other words, if I run into a Geodude, or even a Zigzagoon that only knows Tackle first, it doesn't matter. Interesting situation number 2 came to my attention on this route as well. Because I can't use potions, berries are my best friend in this Nuzlocke. Of course, I'm going to use the Pokemon Center most of the time, but stocking up on things like Orin, P.E.K.K.A, Citrus, and Leppa berries is going to be crucial, meaning for like the first time ever, I'm going to replant berries as I play through the game. It's also worth noting that Gold and Silver did have berries, but they're not the same as the ones that came out in Ruby and Sapphire. In Petalburg, we had to show Wally how to catch a Mon. I swear you could give this dude training wheels and he still wouldn't know how to ride a bike. The Petalburg Woods featured our 3rd member, Slackoth. It comes with Yawn, which is nice. I don't know how good it'll be in the long run, though. Maybe I wait until after Norman to give it Facade? I'm not too sure. Beyond the Forest awaited TM09 Bullet Seed. Not only will this allow Lotad to wreak havoc in the first gym, but this might be one of the only grass-type attacks we have access to. Additionally, TMs aren't reusable, so I gotta be careful with them. Yo, by the way, I've always wondered what this sign says. Oh, how neat. Speaking of the Rustboro gym, it was a cakewalk as expected. Roxanne spammed potions on our nose pass, aka the Pokemon that my livestream chat has ruined for me because they think I also have a big nose even though I don't, so don't listen to them. But we were eventually victorious and handed TM39 Rock Tomb, which should come in handy. Then we had to save our dog Pico in the Rusturf Tunnel. Man, I'll always look up to Pico. He's so chill and he's like my idol. What? He's cool, man. Alright, the Granite Cave played home to a level 10 Makuhita specifically. Yeah, this is the only Hoenn Mon on the first floor, and the level 6 through 9 Makuhitas don't know Arm Thrust yet. Aside from having our first fighting type move, Makuhita can get access to Fake Out, Knockoff, and Smelling Salt later down the road. I'm also just now realizing I didn't preview the other team members. I don't know, Will-O-Wisp is the only noteworthy level up move for Bennett, Lombre recently learned Nature Power, which is okay, and Slackoth, he's just there for moral support. Brawly was 10 times tougher than Roxanne, that's for sure. His Machamp dealt good damage to Makuhita, but after he popped a Super Potion, Lombre landed a clutch 5-hit Bullet Seed to take him down. I then went over to Bennett in order to use my 2 Oran Berries on Lombre. Probably should have gotten more. I needed a free switch in back to Lombre though, so yeah, Slackoth. Remember that whole thing about Facade a minute ago? From there though, Brawly kept wanting to use knockoff for whatever reason, so we took him out for badge number 2. Route 110 was the first area with multiple options, as Plusle knows Helping Hand and Gulpin has Yawn. Would have rather had the ability to use Yawn again, but I guess we're stuck with Mickey Mouse Clubhouse over here instead. Aside from maybe being useful in double battles, Plusle does not have much going for it. May wasn't really that bad, but I would like to get Mons that match up against our Grovyle and Numel a little better. For now though, we helped a guy locate his wait a minute. I made sure to evolve Makihita before fighting Watson, and that helped immensely. Magnemite didn't stand a chance, and Voltorb blew up in Lombre's face, leaving us with 3 hit points. Magneton wasn't much more of a problem, so we got Shockwave, which I could teach to Plusle, but I know there's another spot to catch Electrike or Manectric, so I think I'll save it until then. With 3 badges, it was time to make our way north, where I picked up a Spinda. Honestly, Uproar as a stab move isn't too bad right now, but the only other notable move it gets is Teeter Dance. Either way, hopefully this is a nice addition. West of Fall Arbor Town, I really wanted to go after a Seviper because getting access to Poison Tail and all of that would be great. Oh. Yep, Swablu knows Astonish, so that's my encounter instead. I guess I could give it Secret Power and eventually Aerial Ace, but that's all it has going for it. And this is embarrassing, I was too scared to battle Archie without grinding up Spinda. This is all thanks to his Golbat, which is super effective on every one of my team members. Luckily, after the training session, Archie's team got washed away. Whoa! Dude, what am I doing? This also allowed us to purchase lava cookies. They were introduced in Ruby and Sapphire. They act like full heals, but only cost 200 Pokédollars. Literally perfect for our situation. After getting everyone to a nice and even level 30, we were ready for Flannery. Obviously, her Slugmas weren't much of a threat, but I was fully expecting Banette to die to Torkoal's Overheat. However, due to the sun fading on the previous turn, he lived, allowing Hariyama and Spinda to clean up with 0 deaths. But then there was Norman, who made me realize that only being able to heal with our few amount of Orin and Citrus Berries in battle is really starting to hurt us at this point. Hariyama took care of the first slacking, but Vigoroth was a menace. It encored a Lombre into Fake Out, so I sent in Banette to land a Will-O-Wisp. This was sort of good, yet sort of bad because of Facade, but nonetheless I switched over to Spinda, who was doing decent damage with Uproar. Unfortunately though, that move locks us in, and thanks to Norman's Hyper Potions, our little panda friend went down. Okay, yeah, this one hurts a bit more. I mean, to be fair though, you only had Uproar, so... Anyways, Swablu finished the job, and Hariyama outlasted the second slacking for another victory. East of Mauville, we scooped up a Manectric. Nothing stands out about its level up moves, but I'm giving it Shockwave right away, which will add some much needed electric coverage. Then at the Weather Institute, we got Cast Form. There's Hail and Weather Ball, I suppose? Yeah, this thing's probably not seeing the light of day. May was a light work, and Steven handed us a pair of glasses. I think they're one of those drunk goggles that you see online, you know?
Oh, a Kecleon. No way!
The only mon that really gave us trouble with Winona was Altaria. I paralyzed it using my Altaria's secret power before taking a risk by sending out Hariyama. Luckily, Winona was too concerned with using Dragon Dance like 4 times, so Smelling Salt did the trick. Not only does this give us badge number 6, but we get Aerial Ace, a solid flying type attack for Altaria. Ascending Mount Pyre had me feeling like I was in a Chills YouTube video.
Number 15.
It was kinda scary. Not as scary as Chimecho being our next encounter. It's got Uproar, so I'll grab it, but it's definitely not as enticing as our current mons. Then there was May in Lily Cove, you know how that one goes, she's awful at this game. I fished up a Wailmer on Route 124, and in 2 levels it'll get Water Pulse. Water Spout will come a little later as well, so this should be a solid addition. Speaking of good mons, I caught a Spheal in the Shoal Cave. It comes with the Ice Ball, which can be a little risky in Nuzlocke, but I'ma take the Ice-type coverage. I made sure to evolve Wailmer before the double battle against Tate and Liza, as I definitely needed the extra power. Solrock went down quickly, and a Lunatone could have done some damage thanks to it using Calm Mind, but we lucked out with a critical Water Pulse, which sealed the deal. That's 7 badges down, and we can now get HM08 Dive, the only HM I can use in battle during this playthrough. I'll throw it on Spheal since it doesn't have any other viable water-type attack. Oof, yeah, this occurred on Route 127. Lombre got one-shot by a Machoke's Revenge. I know, I didn't even get it on camera, I just wasn't expecting it. I mean, at least we didn't need it for Archie, and I scooped up a Sableye in the Cave of Origin. It has Fake Out and Knockoff, so basically a better version of Banette. And by the way, I could try to catch and use Kyogre, but come on, using a Legendary, that'd be too cheap. Wallace's Whiscash gave us some trouble, but then I remembered I could just set up with Altaria's Dragon Dance, and this allowed us to— oh! Hey, nah, that one's on you. +6 Aerial Ace and you can't one-shot my Lodic? Nah, you had that one coming. Okay, on a real note, losing Altaria is a huge blow to the team. Fortunately, we made it through the rest of the fight, and I captured an Aeron in Victory Road. While it doesn't come with any usable moves, I can give it Rock Tomb, and it's better than throwing Chimecho or Castform on the squad. With only the Elite Four left, it was time to gather berries like it was my job. For the most part, I focused on citrus and lepa berries because we bought all those lava cookies earlier. I ended up with nearly 100 citrus berries, which will hopefully be plenty to supply this team. Some much needed adjustments were made, including giving Brick Break and Bulk Up to Hariyama, Dragon Claw to Aggron, and Facade to Sableye. I truly think having such limited movesets is going to be the bane of our existence, but everyone's in the mid-50s, so maybe I'll be proven wrong. And yeah, it only took a few bulk ups for Hariyama to mop the floor with Sydney's team, so we're off to a good start. Phoebe was slightly trickier though. Metal Sound and Dragon Claw were enough to suppress her first Dusclops, but I needed half of my team to handle the second one. During that time though, Walrein built up with Ice Ball, so Phoebe's first Banette and Sableye got wiped out. 2 dives took care of Banette number 2, so Glacia was next. And similar to Sydney, there was nothing special, it was just a matter of bulk up and brick break. Drake was a different story though. Didn't really have issues beating Shelgon, and as Flygon came out, we tried to set up with Ice Ball. However, we got paralyzed by Dragon Breath, only allowing Walrein to knock out the first Flygon and Altaria. Wailord's Water Spout made quick work of the second, so out came Salamence. Right away, he burned Aggron with Flamethrower, so I sacked off Sableye in exchange for some chip damage. A couple Water Spouts later, and I let Manectric go down since I had to heal up Aggron. This ultimately got us the win, but now we're in a 4v6 situation. The showdown with Steven didn't get off to a bad start though, as Skarmory only wanted to go for Steel Wing, allowing Walrein to whittle it down. But on the 5th Ice Ball, we missed Claydol, which was a dagger. This forced us to bring it down with Dive, but now Walrein was, for all purposes, out of the fight. Cradilian Armaldo didn't last long against Hariyama, but then there was Metagross. I attempted to outspeed it, but Hariyama's slower than Gary the Snail. And due to me forgetting to use Alepa Berries, Wailord had a 0 Water Spouts. Yeah, the Nuzlocke was about as good as over at this point. Honestly, I didn't even expect it to make it this far. If I still had Manectric and Altaria, maybe things could have been different. No matter what, this was another fun Nuzlocke run, and I'd definitely be down to try it in Generation 4. For now though, I hope y'all enjoyed, have a great rest of your day, and until next time, deuces.